Hello, Azar. I'm Detective Talia Grant. Thursday. Right, before we get to the case at hand, I'd like to tiptoe around some past events. Is that okay?
Tiptoe away.
20th of December 2052, you were arrested for stealing watches from the high-end jeweller Mammon. Do you recall?
I remember being arrested, yeah.
There was a brief localised power cut, which of course means there was no footage. However, the shop assistant did see you holding the watches, even though they'd been locked in a cabinet just moments before. February 2053, early this year, there were 2 cases of arson set a week apart, located in the nearly finished nuclear waste facility in Northtown. Your old home.
Detective Talia Grant?
That's me.
Pleased to meet you. Chief Inspector Little.
Pleasure.
Well, you probably had the rundown. I can't seem to make heads or tails of it. She doesn't want a lawyer, so you're all good on that front.
Great.
I've never seen anything like it. Do you know what some of my men are calling her? The devil incarnate.
Superstitious bunch.
No, religious, some of them.
I don't know what's worse.
Right. Are we ready?
God only knows. This vehicle was reported to have spontaneously combusted on the 17th. Then, on the 24th, a large section of the recently built East Wing was burnt down. Cause of fire was also unknown. So where were you on the 17th and the 24th of February?
Can't remember.
You were spotted by cameras in the city centre getting on a bus towards Northtown, half an hour before the digger was set on fire. It only takes 20 minutes to get to Northtown by bus. And again, on the 24th, CCTV caught you in the town centre, 2 hours before the fire.
I have friends in Brooksvale.
Brooksvale? I suppose it's on the same bus route. Well, I'm sure you can give us their names.
Sure.
Good. Anyhow, the real reason we're here today is the death of Officer Stephen Reginald, a death that took place at Sanctuary Southside. The relocation programme? Your current home. What's funny?
The irony, that's all.
I don't follow.
Have you ever been to Sanctuary?
I have family there. I haven't been there in years.
So you're from Northtown too? Done well for yourself then. It's a shithole.
Eyewitness accounts state that during an argument between yourself and Officer Reginald, he fell to the floor, clutching his chest. Reports say that his heart just stopped working. He was dead before the ambulance arrived.
Well, he deserved it.
You take that back.
Why did he deserve it?
He liked to talk shit to my mum on his patrols. Called us dirty immigrants.
Detective, may I have a word outside?
Yes, of course. Excuse us.
Detective, forgive me, but your methods strike me as rather unorthodox. I don't think revealing everything we know about the suspect to the suspect is the best approach.
Forgive me, Chief Inspector, but her case is quite unorthodox.
What? So we just meant to show our hand and expect her to show hers?
Before you called me out here, she was giving us a potential motive.
Listen, Detective, I know you're not the superstitious type and this is not on record, but earlier today one of my officers had a huge bruise on the side of his face. Now, I asked him where he got it since he didn't have it this morning when he checked in. He didn't answer my question and mumbled something about her being some kind of witch. Now, of course I thought this was ludicrous. And then another officer came to me, shaking, and said that he and his colleague had paid her a visit. They were angry about Stephen's death and wanted to scare her a little bit. He just got into the cell when he lost control of his fist. He'd ended up punching the other officer in the face. He couldn't explain it. Now, I have no reason to believe my men are lying. We can be skeptical, but something about this situation is very strange.
I'm sure there's a completely logical explanation for this. I'd like to talk with the officer, but they shouldn't be harassing suspects. I know Officer Reginald was one of yours. I'm sorry.
I think we need to find out what we're dealing with here.
Right, shall we? Did you kill Police Officer Stephen Reginald?
The eyewitnesses can tell you that I didn't.
Would you have liked to have killed him? Sounds like you two weren't getting along.
To wish death upon a man is morally wrong.
But he deserved it.
He was nasty.
What were you arguing about?
He was asking to see my ID, like he's done a million times.
Did you let him?
I told him to fuck off.
Many people at the station seem to think you possess certain superhuman abilities.
What are you talking about?
Can you move things without touching them?
That's quite funny.
So can you?
If I could, wouldn't I just escape and make you spontaneously combust?
What's stopping you?
Of course I don't have powers. That's stupid.
Give us the names and the addresses of your friends over in Brooksvale. I'll check your alibis for those 2 nights. Please excuse us. We're not making any headway.
Right.
She will serve a sentence for the watches.
She'll do 6 months.
That'll give us enough time. I'll follow up on the alibis. We can potentially get somewhere with the fires, and I'll speak to the officer that punched his colleague.
Is she still a murder suspect?
We have a motive, but no credible method. Not yet, anyway.
So now you think she's a witch?
Witches don't exist. Let me get those alibis. Got those names?